Super happy that it got on the list, got constructed, and put it for I think 4 or 5 months, and then it just started going. So I know they considered it. It was really
they just determined. Let me go get them.
How are you? Good. Good to see you.
I know. How did we get so lucky?
I tried to get out of it. I put it them all. I guess I got the first one.
I came to this one because of Jim. He's here somewhere. Pacheco, who's the next supervisor. Yeah.
Please go. Please go.
Oh, okay. Maybe because we're going to have negotiations done. That may be it.
When did that start?
I think it started in this year. So we had been meeting with DSA and Dist, so they started meeting with UPE.
I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim was saying the employees in Los Angeles special signed certain cards. Saying something.
I think we already have.
Just make sure that the ocean's ready to go.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I know that the city is recording as well for the live feed for the city, and also we have the county recording as well for county-wide. So I appreciate everybody at home watching and everybody here. So let's go ahead and start it. Good evening, everybody, and again, welcome to this year's Merced County Town Hall for District 1. My name is Rodrigo Espinosa, and I'm the District 1 Supervisor, which in large part covers the city of Livingston, portions of the city of Merced, El Nido, Le Grand, Planada, and Santanella. I appreciate you joining us tonight to learn a little bit more about the Merced County and share with us some of our thoughts and questions. I'm joined by several of our department heads and staff members who will be available to assist with questions during the question and answer portion of the town hall. Before asking them to introduce themselves, I'd like to mention a few quick housekeeping items. First off, we do have interpretation services available in Spanish. Unfortunately, we usually use Hmong, but this community has a lot of Sikh members, and we weren't able to find a Sikh interpreter for tonight, so I apologize for that. And I'll have our interpreter quickly introduce themselves in a little bit. Light refreshments are available in the back, and bathroom facilities are also available. There's also optional sign-in sheets available in the back, where you can also sign up for county alerts and announcements. We also have copies of our annual report, and I'd like to give a big thank you to the City of Livingston for hosting us here tonight as well. So this event is scheduled to conclude no later than 8 p.m., but feel free to stick around afterward and chat with us. I'm going to translate before I go to the department introductions, translate in Spanish. Buenas noches a todos, bienvenidos el Ayuntamiento del Condado de Merced de este año para el Distrito 1. Mi nombre es Rodrigo Espinosa y soy el supervisor del Distrito 1, que en gran parte cubre la ciudad de Livingston, partes de la ciudad del sur de Merced, El Nido, Ligrán, Planada y Santanela. Agradezco se haya unido a nosotros esta noche para aprender un poco más sobre el Condado de Merced y compartir con nosotros algunos de sus pensamientos y preguntas. Me acompañan varios de nuestros jefes de departamento y miembros de personal que estarán disponibles para ayudar con preguntas durante la parte de preguntas y respuestas de la Asamblea Pública. Antes de pedirles que se presenten, me gustaría mencionar algunos elementos rápidos de aquí. En primer lugar, tenemos servicios de interpretación disponibles tanto en español. No pudimos encontrar a alguien que hablara así para interpretar, pero para la otra, ¿verdad? En nuestro intérprete, ahorita lo presentaremos. Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Okay, gracias. Can you say your name, please?
Hi, my name is Merced. Hola, mi nombre es Merced y soy intérprete y estoy para ayudar en esto.
Muchas gracias. Tenemos golosinas ligeras, aguas disponibles en la parte trasera y también hay baños disponibles. También hay una hoja de registro opcional disponible en la parte posterior donde también puede registrarse para recibir alertas y anuncios del condado. También tenemos copias de nuestro informe anual del condado de Merced. Me gustaría dar un gran gracias a la ciudad de Livingston por recibirnos aquí en este lugar esta noche. Este evento estará programado para concluir a más tarde a las 8 de la noche, pero siéntase libre de quedarse después y platicar con nosotros si gusta. At this time, I would like to have our department representatives briefly introduce themselves and say a few quick words about their respective agencies. If we can start on my left side. Tiffany?
Thank you, Supervisor Espinoza. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Tiffany Ho, and I am the representative for the Community and Economic Development Department as the Deputy Director of Planning. Our department houses a number of development services agencies, including our Buildings and Safety Division that issues building permits for private development. We've also got Water Resources that participates in groundwater sustainability policymaking. Economic Development, which manages our economic development programs, including those at Castle Airport. Buildings and Safety Division, or Environmental Health Division, which issues well and septic permits, food facility permits, as well as other permits that are related to consumer protections. And then Planning that deals with land use and zoning. And that's a little bit about us.
Thank you. Lindsay?
My name is Lindsay Johnson. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Works, and we also have our other Assistant Director of Public Works, Kip Brooks, in the audience, overseeing roads. We're here representing Nathan Bray tonight. The Department of Public Works oversees over 1,700 miles of roadways within the county. We also develop and maintain all the parks within the unincorporated areas of the county. We have recreation programs, special events. We also support the different county departments with all of their facilities, facility maintenance, as well as supplying them with the vehicles to run their operations. And we also oversee all the capital improvement projects in the county.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Raul Lomelí Mendez. I'm the Merced County Executive Officer. My responsibility includes obviously supporting the board, bringing recommendations to them for the provision of services and programs to the residents of Merced County. Have the privilege of overseeing the day-to-day operations of the county government, working with our elected officials, their staff, and then also our appointed department heads, and I think they're all represented here. Some of the areas of responsibility obviously include budget, legislative affairs, human resources, procurement, risk management. So really the administration of the county government. And I report to the 5 board members appointed by them, have been in the position going on my 3rd year now here in Merced County. And looking forward to hearing from the residents here in District 1 about some of the needs, the issues that are important to you. I think we take a lot of pride in making ourselves available, and always a nice opportunity to come out to the communities and listening to the residents so that we can do our jobs better going forward. So again, appreciate the city also hosting us here at their council chambers. I know I have the privilege of working with our city partners, whether it's Livingston, Merced, Atwater, Los Baños, Dos Palos, or Castine. So as a former city manager, I know it's important for us to maintain good relations with our city partners. So looking forward to a good night, and thank you.
Thank you, Raul.
Corey?
Good evening, Corey Gibson, Undersheriff, Merced County. I'm here representing the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is the primary law enforcement agency for the county, and we have the primary role of general law enforcement services in the unincorporated area. In addition to those law enforcement services, the sheriff also maintains our correctional facilities, both the John LaRocca Correctional Facility and the main jail downtown. Additionally, we are the enforcement arm for the court, so we have exclusive jurisdiction over civil enforcement and civil actions in the community. And additionally, we maintain the animal shelter for the county, which contracts with a couple of the local cities within Merced County, as well as we also do code enforcement in the unincorporated area.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nicole Silvera. I'm the district attorney here in Merced County. The district attorney's office prosecutes cases on behalf of the people of Merced County. We have a team of lawyers, support staff, investigators, as well as advocates that work in our office. The advocates are there to support victims and witnesses through the criminal justice process. We're also very involved in outreach, trying to keep our kids away from crime. This is my 3rd time in Livingston in the last couple days. We did a parent night on fentanyl here on Monday night. I see some people here that I recognize, and we were actually at Livingston High School this morning as well. So a great community, and we're happy to be here.
Good evening. My name is Mark Pimentel. I'm the Assistant Fire Chief for Merced County Fire and CAL FIRE, here representing Chief Van Lobensel's. We are your fire protection services throughout the county. We roughly ran about last year 12,386 calls last year for services. Those are a wide variety of services such as PSAs, medical aids, structure fires, and so on and so forth. We also do training here at Castle for our local colleges, and we kind of coordinate with those colleges in order to get the youth around this communities to come in and start building a career for them after the high school. We also have a Type 1 hazmat team that is recognized across the state, and then we also have a Type 2 rescue team that we facilitate. Roughly have about 93 personnel that facilitate your fire services through the county, and look forward to any questions that you guys might have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Ivania Brown, the Human Services Agency Director, and my span of responsibility for the county is overseeing all the financial assistance programs, Medi-Cal, CalWorks, CalFresh, along with general assistance. In addition to those financial assistance programs, we are responsible for the housing homeless component within the county as the collaborative applicant. And about 2 years ago, we created a housing homeless branch because of the need what's going on in our community. Along with that, we have adult and children's services that we oversee, from adult protective services, intensive in-home service supportive services, child welfare, foster care, and also a few more at the Veterans Office. Just to name a few, we have over 700 employees that we to run this county department, but so we're looking forward, and one of my deputies is here. If there's any questions that we can answer, we'll avail ourselves to do so. So thank you.
Thank you, Ivania. The agencies seated here at the front table represent departments that gave a majority of the questions at the town halls. Other department representatives are in the audience, and I'm going to introduce some of them. We have John Nishishima, Admin Services?
We can have them.
Okay, go ahead,
have them
please.
introduce
Yeah.
themselves. That might be easier.
Hi, my name is Mel Levy. I'm the Merced County Registrar of Voters. I lead the Elections Department. The Elections Department here in Merced County administers all elections within the county. We're also a passport application acceptance facility, so folks who are looking to get passports can make appointments and bring their documents down to our department.
Good evening. My name is Sean Runyon. I'm the Agricultural Commissioner, Sealer of Weights and Measures. So our department is divided up into two divisions, the Ag Commissioner's Office and the Weights and Measures. On the Ag Commissioner side, we focus on the protection of agricultural people and the environment, and we do that with many different programs. Two of our big programs are pesticide use enforcement, where we regulate and help people use pesticides safely. One of our other big programs is our pest detection program, where you might see us out in Livingston setting up traps, and what we're trying to do is protect the agricultural industry here in Merced from invasive pests that come in and are detrimental to agriculture. On the weights and measures side, we primarily focus on consumer protection, and we do this by inspecting commercial measuring devices. Such devices are things like gas pumps, supermarket scales, vehicle scales, scales at landscape companies. We also do some different things like ambulances and taxi cabs. So thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Amy Bays. I'm the Deputy County Librarian for Merced County. So I'm here representing lifelong education, starting with early literacy. You may visit us for story time. You may visit us for book clubs for adults. You may do our drop-in digital help for computer help. Or you may visit us for adult literacy, which we have all throughout the county. We have 11 libraries total. And we look forward to seeing you all whenever you stop by. If you have any questions, let me know.
Good evening. Chris Hand, Chief Probation Officer here in Merced. The Probation Department currently has two divisions. First one is the institutions. So we offer services to the youth that are in custody pending court or have been sentenced, educational programming as well. Those youth also participate in our graffiti abatement program. So if you see some graffiti out in the community or in the county areas, please go on our website and fill out that application. Today, we actually started a new partnership with Public Works, where we are assisting them with community cleanup on the illegal dumps that are in the county area. So please, I believe that's through the Department of Public Works is where that request goes through, right? Right, Kip? Yeah? Okay. So if you see some illegal dumps, make sure you reach out to Public Works, and then we'll get our youth out there to help them clean that stuff up. And then on our supervision side division, or the field side, I should say, sorry, we have court officers and intake officers that work on reports and represent us in courts. Those reports will give guidance to the justice partners on recommendations for the clients that would possibly be put on probation. And then we have our supervision units, which supervise those clients that are in the community and help provide them services and also hold them accountable if they don't comply with their terms. I have both my deputy chiefs here, so if you guys have any questions for probation, please just let us know, and thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kimiko Vang, and I'm the Director of the Behavioral Health and Recovery Services Department. At BHRS, we provide mental health and substance use disorder services to individuals, and that would include adults, children, as well as families. And we do this through our outpatient clinics. We have several outpatient clinics located throughout the county, as well as inpatient services. So we do have a psychiatric facility called Mary Green in Merced, where we provide brief hospitalization to individuals that need it. Primarily, we serve Medi-Cal-eligible individuals with severe mental health illness as well as substance abuse services. So thank you so much for having me.
Good evening, everyone. John Ishihama. I'm the Assistant Director, Assistant CIO for the County of Merced. Within our department, we provide all of the information technology and application infrastructure support for all of the departments within the county. Also within our department, we provide, we have the purchasing department, which is in charge of procurement and purchasing. So all the goods and services, the bids, RFPs, and RFQs, RFIs, all that other good stuff are located on the website. And that's what our department does.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Gamble, the Assistant Assessor. The assessor is responsible for valuing all locally accessible real property, personal property, vessels, and aircrafts for property tax purposes and applying exemptions. The assessor clerk recorder also oversees the recorder's office, which is responsible for recording of legal documents and vital documents, like where you can get your birth certificates, marriage licenses, things of that nature. So let me know if you have any questions.
Hi, good evening. Katrina Holmes. I'm the Assistant Director of the Department of Child Support Services. I am here representing our Director, Jeff Wattoon. Our department supports children and families by locating parents, establishing parentage, establishing, enforcing, and modifying court support and medical orders. We also have programs and partnerships in place to assist with things like license releases, reducing child support debt, and providing referrals to other local programs and departments, services that are available based on customer needs. So if you have, if you'd like to learn more or apply for our services, you could do so by visiting the child support page on the Merced County website. The state California Department of Child Support Services website is also a great resource, has lots of information there too. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to assist. Thank you.
I'm Forrest Hansen, County Counsel for the County of Merced. My office provides legal services to the CEO's office, Board of Supervisors, and all the other county departments. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eric Serrato, and I'm the Director of the Department of Workforce Investment. We study the local labor market and help individuals find good jobs through our WorkNet centers that are located in Los Baños and in Merced, soon to be opened at Castle Air Force Base as well as helping business connect to the skilled workers they need to be more competitive.
All right. Thank you for that. So whenever, in a little bit, when I go to questions and answers, if anybody from the public would like to ask questions in our departments, you're welcome to. Let me just acknowledge a few dignitaries that are here with us. I want to thank Mayor Jose Moran for joining us here today. I know they had a long meeting last night, went to midnight, from 7 to midnight, so I think that's probably the longest meeting I've had. I left at 10, so. Councilmember Jason Roth, thank you. Councilmember Maria Soto is here. City Manager Christopher Lopez is here with us. Thank you. Sam Samra, Representative for Congressman John Duarte. Thank you, Sam. Mario Mendoza, Merced College Board Trustee. Thank you. And we also have Joyce. Where are you? Right? For Senator Ana Caballero. Thank you for coming. And I think we have a representative from Esmeralda Sorias, right? What was your name? I'm sorry, I forgot. Alexandra, thank you. We appreciate that. And we also have Supervisor-elect Jim Pacheco. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Now I'd like to cover a few items that I think might be of interest to those in the audience. A lot of people ask me, what does the supervisor do? Well, I tell them it's kind of almost like mayor, when I got elected to Board of Supervisors, like, well, it's just, now it's a bigger, more responsibilities of being a county supervisor. It's just a lot more departments. So I know cities are, just have a few departments, but it's basically the same thing. So some of the duties of the supervisor: appoint members to the boards and commissions, committees, and advisory boards. We appoint department heads except elected officials and those appointed by the county executive officer. And we adopt the annual budget which last year was $1.3 billion. Exercise policy review and oversight of the county programs and functions, serve as an appellate body for personal actions and planning and zoning appeals. And so responsibilities of the city versus county, like I said, it's we have many departments, 20 plus departments, and so we're an arm of the state, so we gotta follow the state policy and oversee, follow the state. Some of the issues we had that I'm helping some of my constituents in District 1 is South Merced, P Street sidewalks. There's just outside the city of South Merced, for years they've been asking us for more sidewalks. And that's what I've been pressing for, especially in the community of Planada and Le Grand for sidewalks. So that way the future supervisor elect, that way once at the end of the year, we'll go over and hopefully continue that for our residents. Water and sewer services along P Street also as well. They've been complaining about, especially when it rains a lot, that's hard ground and we have a lot of stagnant ground and there's no sidewalks. Obviously in small communities outside the city, so the city, obviously doesn't want to take over streets that are adjoining the city until it gets paved or has the services. So we're working on that with the county and getting some grant opportunities. Also, Leadership Council from Fresno has been pushing those residents, and we've been having meetings with Supervisor Josh Pedroso as well, which represents District 2, just north of the city, but he's also been, helping me on the South Merced side. Also, another important road is Mission Avenue, which runs south or west of Highway 99 to Highway 59. And we're working on repairs over the last year and this year with all the constant rains and developments. Unfortunately, that road has deteriorated substantially as well, and we're trying to work with with the city. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any repairs done by the developer, and that's where you see the difference between a smaller city and a bigger city, where some cities and some councils seems like they lack or don't do the work and making those developers responsible and make sure they fix those roads. If you have a development that's running through, to make sure that they fix those roads. In Livingston, I know that when we're here, we have an ordinance that says that if you do a development, you gotta fix both sides of the road, even if half of the road is the city and the other side is the county. The city makes them develop both sides, which, like I said, substantially for those residents, it'll hopefully substantially help. That road is multi-jurisdictional, which is major arterial road that runs, like I said, west to east, and hopefully that continue. Hopefully, and we'll fix it. Cone Street speed bumps. They've been seeking for speed bumps on Cone Street, and it's been going through the process, but unfortunately, due to short distances, it hasn't met the engineering, and they haven't gone through, but hopefully we get some speed bumps there. Excuse me. We have a roundabout at Girard Avenue and Highway 59. That's a project that's coming with Caltrans. Highway 59 is pushing, the state is pushing the roundabout all throughout the state. We also have the issue in Planada, which is pushing, the community wanted a signalization, and we went through since I came on board on the board of supervisors, so it took us 7 years. But eventually this next spring, they will start construction on the roundabout. Even though they wanted a signalization, they are getting a roundabout. But eventually it'll be safer. That's what the state's pushing for, safety. And so, but it's going to be like a $5 million project. So I'm glad that's getting done. In San Anela, It's part of my new district after, after it was added to my district. Santanella will be getting a 3-acre park. They don't have a park, and also they will be getting hopefully in the future, a community center they're seeking. I also advised them that I have funds in my discretionary fund, so hopefully they can start a small community center and they'll be able to use that because they like every small community, they want to be able to get together just like here. This center is used for community events, and so, and then next door as well, they want to use a multicultural arts location, so hopefully that can get done as well with the community of Livingston as well. And I know that it's been a big issue also, ambulance services in the county. We had a ambulance company that has less than adequate services for many years, and hopefully, if not this year, next year, the ambulance service will, I think it's going to go out the contract, and hopefully we'll get a better company that will provide better services for our residents in the county. And obviously, fire service is an issue right now. We'll probably have many questions. Last night was another issue with regarding closing of 4 stations around Merced County, including the city of Livingston. So it's a major topic, and hopefully we can come to some amicable resolution with the county and the city in resolving, and so that way Livingston doesn't lose the fire station here. So this is a community of 15,000 plus residents, and nobody wants to lose that because we all have to pay a lot more insurance rates. So, but the important thing is to save lives. We don't want to be, 10 minutes away where a fire station is going to delay and somebody's going to die because we don't have those services. Another issue is illegal dumping around the county. Every county in California has that issue. So if you see anybody that's dumping on the county, it doesn't happen as much in the cities, but still does. But please call Public Works, call one of the supervisors, or if you know somebody that works for the county, call us and report that as well. Take pictures. But if you see dumps, last night I was told about some dumping, so hopefully call me, let me know where it's at, and we can have our Public Works Department pick it up as well. So now I'm going to go to question and answers. I'd like to get to the questions and answer portion of the town hall. And I said earlier, this is why we were here. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions, what is going right, what can be improved, etc. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and I'll come around and with a wireless microphone so you can ask a question. So. Any questions from the public? Yo lo voy a tener.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Flor. Mi primera pregunta es...
Hi, my name is Flor, and my first question is?
Si mi teléfono tiene el Google Map, si yo sé dónde está mi teléfono que se me perdió, ¿le puedo llamar a la policía para que me ayude a rescatar mi teléfono?
She's asking a question if she has a Google phone and she lost it. Can I call the police department to find my phone? Well, la pregunta no sé si la policía normalmente no le ayuda para esas preguntas, es para algo que más emergencia. What I'm telling her is that for somebody to call the police department just for that you lost your phone, they usually, you don't want to use that.
I think she meant that if she knows where her phone is, can the police help her get it back knowing exact location of said phone? So if she lost her phone, but she tracked it to a specific address, can the law enforcement assist her in getting her phone back or her property back? That's the question.
Okay. Pues una pregunta para la policía. That's a question for any law enforcement. Yeah, Corey, you want to take that?
Yeah. So it kind of depends on what the phone and what information you're receiving on the location. Depending on the application or the phone, it may ping in a general area or it pings at a direct address. Sometimes it looks like it's at a particular address, but it may not necessarily mean that. If we need to look at the information that's coming into the phone, determine what it is, and see if there's enough to actually gain entry through a search warrant or something of that nature. We can't just enter someone's residence without probable cause.
¿Sí entendió eso?
Sí, lo que quiero decir, no es por nada, ¿verdad? Pero si mi teléfono me costó $1,000 y no tengo aseguranza, por eso yo quiero tener mi teléfono para atrás.
She says if she bought the phone and it cost her $1,000, obviously she wants to get it back, but but that's she doesn't have insurance, so that's a tough one.
Yeah. So you need to call into the local jurisdiction, either the sheriff's office or the local police department, report that to the patrol staff, and let them look at the information that's coming in and see what information they can glean from it, and see what investigative tools they can use to try to get the phone for you.
¿Sí entendió?
Well, el caso es que sí me pueden ayudar o no.
Can you help me or not?
I guess the question is, where do you live and where do you think the phone's at? So maybe afterwards I can talk to her and we can try to figure out
Le
where
puede
that is.
preguntar después, a ver si le puede contestar la pregunta.
Si el teléfono está aquí en el condado de Merced, si yo sé dónde está el teléfono, está en el condado de Merced, ¿me pueden ayudar a agarrar mi teléfono para atrás? ¿Sí o no?
Yeah, if she knows that the phone is here in Merced County, do you think that you can help her get that phone back?
Like I said, we need to look at what location is it in the city of Livingston? Is it in the city of Merced? Is it out in the unincorporated area? We need to look at that. And then where was the phone taken or how did she lose it? Those type of things.
Okay. ¿Otra pregunta?
Sí. La segunda pregunta, ¿verdad? Yo nomás quiero agradecer acá que tenemos a ustedes, Supervisor Espinosa, ¿verdad? Porque ha apoyado mucho a la ciudad de Planada y también aquí en Livingston. Y ojalá que cuando tengamos otro supervisor también nos esté apoyando como el día de hoy, que usted está también aquí para nuestras preguntas. Gracias.
Well, she's just saying that she appreciates me and my service that I have done in Planada and here, and hopefully our next supervisor will represent the same as well. So, thank you. Gracias. Any other questions? Carmen?
Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen, and first of all, I want to thank you, all of you, for being here and listening to us. Thank you again for being here. And this goes, basically, it's just, I would say, a concern, a comment. And for Mr. Espinosa, I know he's always trying to help and do what he can for our community. As a member of Livingston, as a resident for around 50 years, I love my city. And my city is basically pretty safe. So knowing recently that there was a possibility that the fire station would be closed in my city is very concerning to me. But not only to me, I have heard it from many other residents. I'm very active in the community, and people go to me and they ask me, do you know anything about this? And, so I try to, get informed as much as I could. But basically, a fire department does more than help with fires. They educate our youth about, prevention. They're active in our community with different organizations, informing the schools and all that about, giving information, giving material. And then they're out there, as I have seen with, in different areas of town, they're always out there. They're the first ones. We could say they're the first responders out there. I always see the trucks out there first. I mean, they're first. So I'm concerned because if our station is closed and they have to come from another town, sometimes a smaller town, which might be, then and it's far, seconds count. We're not talking even about minutes, but seconds to respond. And, that's a safety issue. So I'm just here as a concerned citizen, and I want to support that we maintain our fire station and that we work together. All the leaders, I trust our leaders, that they will come together and find a solution that's equitable and fair for everyone in the county, because I am aware that other places need also resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen, for those words. I know that, like I said, it was a long meeting last night, and they had a option in the city council voted on option one. But it's been going on for so many years. I know the public that has not had the chance to pretty much follow, because it's mostly internal with the supervisors and different city councils as councils change every 2 years. So it's kind of like a little bit hard, right? Every 2 years you have different council members. So unfortunately, it could have been done a few years ago. But unfortunately, like I said, we're here now, and it's on the public, and we want to make sure that we address with the Board of Supervisors and the city. The last Board of Supervisors, we spent 2 hours just on this item, the fire item too, as well as last night. I didn't leave till 10 o'clock, from 7 to 10. It was pretty long, and we wanted to resolve this. Like I said, we don't want to stress out the residents. We're already stressed out economically, right? The economy is not as well as we would like, but hopefully, amicably, we have another board meeting next Tuesday at Board of Supervisors, and so hopefully, I encourage the public, always encourage the public to come and address us as a whole. Right now, I'm by myself, like I said, but it takes the whole board or the majority of the board to on a meeting to decide, any issue, right? So the council decided on an issue, but I also express the residents to push hard on both sides to make sure that we as board members resolve this issue. We don't want to, continue with, it's always election times coming in November, and like I said, hey, let's relieve the stress, finish. Nobody wants to be out of safety. Like I said, we want to feel safe as a family, and not worry about whether somebody's coming from 10, 15 minutes away, and your family member is suffering a heart attack, or your child is, can't breathe. So, please. So, like I said, come to the board meeting as well next Tuesday. By myself today, I can't resolve it because I can't. If I could vote on it, I would make a decision, but I can't because it takes 3 out of more than 3 board of supervisors to vote on any issue, just as the council. So, any other questions?
Supervisor, I would like to kind of add to that.
Yes, go ahead.
I appreciate the comment. I wasn't here yesterday for the council meeting, but I was watching the video, and I know there was a good discussion by the city council. There was direction provided to the city manager to reach out to the county. So I know City Manager Lopez we've had a conversation today. We actually had lunch together at the dispatchers event in downtown Merced. So I know we're scheduled to sit down and kind of talk about some of our options. But I think the supervisor is right. It's good for us to hear the concerns from the community. I know we took an item to the board. It's scheduled to come back to the board for consideration, further discussion in May, the first meeting in May, which I believe is the 7th. So that's the other meeting, another opportunity for residents to come out and just kind of share their perspective. The board has several options to consider that are currently on the table. I know we're actively working with Livingston, Merced, and a few of the other communities that would be impacted to see if there's other options. But do appreciate the comment, do appreciate you being here in attendance. And again, I know Christopher and I have had a conversation today. We're going to get together here in the next week and kind of discuss options so that we can present those to the board as best as we can. So thank you for the comment.
Yeah, what I'd like to add is, it kind of hits hard because if you lose a station in Livingston, you're going to lose a station in Cressy. That's 2 stations. And you're going to have Balico. So Balico's farther away. So that's going to impact this community a lot harder. Still Delhi, it's not as far, but still, like I say, every minute counts, okay? Any other questions?
Hi, Marta Echeverria, longtime Merced County employee and also ASME board member. I'm here actually representing all of Merced County employees, making sure that the community and everybody else is aware that not just the Sheriff's Department and the Sheriff's Department and the fire departments are struggling, but all Merced County departments are struggling right now. Our department alone is very short-staffed at this time, so workers are doing the jobs of 2 or 3 other workers, and it's making it very difficult. So we may not be in the obvious life-saving categories as the other departments that we're talking about, but we have CWS and APS as well that does provide emergency services to family, and so now they're having to cut back a lot of their time with the families to try to get the investigations going and everything else like that. So you're cutting back time where they should be really focusing on families and making sure that they're safe. So because of our short staff, because we are so short staffed, that is one place that we're impacted. The other part is my department eligibility too. It's going to be very difficult when the same thing, we've lost a lot of our workers that are going to other counties that are providing better benefits, better pay. And so we are also struggling to meet the deadlines and everything else that our clients are needing. So we're talking about people's cash aid who are not going to be able to pay the rent, put food on the table, and also pay for medical services that are desperately needed as well. So that is affected negatively, and we are still waiting on an answer from the Board of Supervisors to try to help us all. I know we are going into negotiations and we can't really discuss it, but that's something that the public needs to be made aware of, that this is an issue. It is a very difficult issue that needs to be addressed, and we're tired of you guys pushing us away from the sidelines. It's time that you focus also on your employees and help keep us safe as well too, as not just the public, but everybody else as well. So I'm here just to bring light to the community, make sure that everybody is aware that we are equally suffering as bad as the Sheriff's Department and the fire departments as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your words. I know, I understand, it's negotiations, so obviously I can't comment on it, okay? So thank you for your comments. So. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
No es pregunta, es comentario. Estos son para las personas que trabajan con la senadora Ana Caballero y para la asambleísta Esmeralda Soria, ¿verdad?
This is not a question, it's a comment. This is for the employees that work for Ana Caballero and Esmeralda Soria.
Sorry, es que eso está en español. Solo tengo que leer en español. Okay. So, me gustaría que le dejaran este mensaje a la senadora y al asambleísta. Como digo, hace unos días yo estuve en Sacramento, pero no estaban ellas, o no nos atendieron.
Yeah, she was earlier. She was in Sacramento, but they weren't there, so they weren't helped.
Pero ahora quiero ver si las personas que están aquí, que trabajan para ellas, si le pueden dejar el mensaje, ¿verdad? Que nos apoyen de parte de la organización Fe en el Valle con la AB 1657, que es la ley de bonos de vivienda asequible para el 2024.
Yeah, she just wants to comment to the representatives for Ana Caballero and Esmeralda Soria to see if they can help them on the bill AB, which one? 1657? Okay.
Y una cosa más, ¿verdad? Y colocaría un bono de $10,000 millones en la boleta de noviembre para el 2024.
And it would, that bill will allocate $10 million for, and it would be on the ballot for that bill, $10 million for the community, right? So, okay. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Any other questions? No questions. Mayor?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you guys for being here. And as most of you watched the meeting last night, there was a lot of residents very concerned, not only for the fire station possibility to be pulled from the city of Livingston, but also from other communities. And I think, it was very interesting. There was a long-time community member that came to the podium and shared, her concerns, and some of her comments were that this is what it seems like is going on between the city and the county is nothing new. It's something that has been going on for a lot of years, and it's interesting that even though boards have changed throughout the last 15, 20, or 30 years, since this has been going on, and councils have changed. But it just seems like it's a continuing, and she made a good point. The tax sharing agreement between the county and the city has been expired since, I believe, 2009, and the MOU or the fire agreement has been non-existent since 1995, if I'm correct. So that's a long time. But I do want to ask and encourage this board to really be willing to at least be open to conversations. And I think that's the most important thing, because if we don't have conversations, we're not able to get things done. And be open-minded. Maybe at times we do get, just both the board members and the council members, we do get a lot of phone calls, a lot of inquiries, a lot of concerns, and so we get the same pressure. Sometimes maybe the only difference is, you might have more constituents in your district, but we still have 15,000 people that we have to answer to. So the concerns are the same. And this is coming from people that not only that reside in Livingston, but from people that reside out in the county areas. So, let's just be open-minded. Let's just make an effort to really come out and come to the table. Kind of pull your chairs to the table and really listen to what others have to say, and really look at the big picture. Here's a big opportunity to really change things that have not been changed for some for 15 years and some others for almost 30 years. Here's the opportunity, and really is not to make a difference for us individually, to the people that are coming to the table, but for the entire community. And really, the board, as the board of supervisors, are really the ones that should be facilitating to keeping everyone in the county together. Really, you are like the big brother. Yes, we are independent agencies, cities, and communities, but at the end of the day, it's Merced County represents everyone in Merced County. That's the way it should be looked at, Or just like whenever there's, there are needs in other agencies, who do we call? We call other agencies, like, in safety. Whenever there's a need in fire or in law enforcement, we can still feel comfortable with reaching out to other agencies and come in to support. And this is one of those opportunities. We have struggled, we have worked together to get other ththings done. Let's just get this done. Let's just get the fire agreement done. Let's get the tax sharing agreement done. And let's just create more partnerships. There's things out in the county that are around the city of Livingston that not necessarily belong to the city, but those are some of those things the city can look into creating partnerships. Like, look, county, you don't have to come all the way out here. We can create an MOU to help you clean up around the city of Livingston, and we can figure it out how we can do that financially. At the end of the day, I think it would be a benefit to the county and also to the cities, because it will make our city look good, even though it's around the community. But bottom line is let's just brainstorm, bring our ideas together, let's get to the table, and let's bring something positive to the board, let's bring something positive to the council, and let's just get this done. That's all I'm asking. And maybe just another ask. I know that I've been asked, and probably the board members and probably CEO has been asked, why can the board please consider a community meeting or a town hall meeting or whatever you guys might want to call it, where all the supervisors could be there and really address some of these issues. And I think it's just probably more than anything, it's transparency and just share the why behind the decisions that we make. And I know that some of the decisions that we make as elected officials are very difficult. And sometimes not everyone is really able to understand. And that is why we have to explain and share with our constituents why we're thinking the way we're thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to comment also too on one of the main issues in the county is dealing with roads, right? I guess the biggest headache amount of calls we get is dealing with roads, which are obviously for a lot of years we didn't have Measure V and we didn't have the funds to be fixing roads. And I know that we get enough taxes each year, but it's not enough to do as many roads that we like as much, thanks to different ARPA funds, Measure, which is SB1 as well. We have additional funds that we're able to fix more roads. This year, we were able to fix Peach Road, Magnolia, and part of Dwight Road. So I know that I've been asked about Longview, Sunset out here in Livingston to fix it. But we have a road to it, which is not used a lot, but it's White Crane Road, which is very terrible. I don't know if people have gone through there. It's very, very terrible. We have Bunker Road, which is a brand new road that was done this past year, late last year, and it's already bad. And so that's going to be a warranty issue, right? Now the Alapiscos, they live over there by Bunker Road, and it's closed. And so for a couple of months now, they've been sending me pictures. A couple of days ago too as well, because like I said, it's already terrible. And I know that we have some dairies there, but still that road should have been broken. But obviously there's defects and sometimes, and hopefully we'll get that road repaved and fixed with a warranty from the company that repaved it. So just is, we have over here on the north side of town, we have Burr Road. A lot of the law enforcement agencies use the city firing range to practice for safety for all law enforcement officers. They train there, so that road is very terrible. It's in the county, and I've been addressing it as well. So I know that I've been hearing it from some law enforcement officers that train over there, and also some of the colleges send their criminal justice students to go and practice over there. So we want to make sure that we address that road. So I also want to express my thanks to Vice Mayor Paul Samara for attending the meeting today. I know I barely woke up from last night. I know you had a long meeting. Yeah, thank you for being here. So we also, like I said, if any of our representatives, state representatives or congressman representatives, would you like to say anything, comment about what the congressman is doing? Nothing specific, but
Sure. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Samra. I know I was introduced earlier, but it's a pleasure to be here in this town since I grew up here. So it's always nice to be home. The congressman represents the 13th district, those of you who don't know, and which encompasses San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Merced, Madera, and Fresno County. And we have 3 field representatives. One of them should be here any minute because he had another meeting in Gustine. And he handles our Merced County, and that's Criston Santos. And I also have 2 caseworkers working out of our Turlock office, and they handle cases, anything having to do with Social Security, Medicare, passports, visas, immigration, things like that. So if you have, or your family have any kind of those kinds of needs, we're here to help. And I know, as it was discussed earlier, roads, infrastructures, those things are, fire protection, public safety is key number 1 with the congressman. And I can tell you that emphatically because I spent 38 years with the California Highway Patrol until about 2.5 years ago. So I can tell you he's a big supporter of public safety in general. And it was stated earlier, fire protection or fire departments, Chief, you know this firsthand, it handles not just fire protection, but also education of our communities, inspections of our commercial buildings, and rolls out. I mean, all the years I've been out patrolling, and Supervisor-elect Pacheco knows this when he spent time out there, that they come out and they do protect life, and they do an awesome job. And we couldn't do it on law enforcement side when I was there. We couldn't have done it without our fire protection partners. So it's vital. So that being said, there is grants available for the county. I know this county was very progressive in submitting an application for the grant recently and asked our office, the Congressman's office, and obviously Congressman Duarte, enthusiastically, without even any hesitation, submitted a grant letter of support, and we're going to get behind it 100% and see if we can get the necessary funds to assist. And how those funds are distributed, no one's better. You know, Congressman Duarte's always said, you tell me what you need, and I will go to the federal kitchen and get it for you. And that is exactly what he's doing day in, day out. So I don't want to take up too much of time, Supervisor, but in a nutshell, if you have any of those needs that I mentioned, I'm going to be here, so please do not hesitate to talk to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. I just want to say a big thank you. Sam has been very instrumental, along with obviously representing your congressman, John Duarte. He's been very helpful the last 6 months. We've been dealing with trying to open up the post office in Planara, and finally opened up just recently, right? But we've been having meetings with the federal director of the post offices all on the west side, and it's just been terrible service. We've had meetings, she missed meetings, she's the one that set up the meetings, and terrible service. So, when people were asking, those residents were affected last year since January, and their post office was closed. Imagine over a year, you have to drive from Planara 10 miles to Merced to get your mail. So it was really, terrible for that community, and finally they'll get to get their mail, and, even though sometimes they have to go get their mail in the post office, but it's not delivered, but at least they have it there, right there. A lot of people wait for their checks, wait for anything, and it was just so terrible. But thank you, Sam, for all your support, and thanks the Congressman as well. So thank you. Appreciate it. Any state representative that has anything? Joyce? No?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really just here to say the senator was very concerned. I've been studying what's going on with the fire department since last week when I first saw it in the papers. So I just came to really make sure I heard whatever the citizens have to say about it. Because safety is such a concern, like everyone is saying. I do have some of my cards available that I will leave on the table back there if anyone wants to call our office. We're still doing a lot of EDD work, and any state concerns that citizens do have, please call our office. We're located right downtown Merced, and we're very approachable. Just to call us, people think that your situation might not be enough to call, but call us. If we can help you, we sure will. So there's all kinds of reasons why people call the senator's office.
So also want to thank Senator Ana Caballero and Esmeralda Soria for last year. They were instrumental in obtaining $1 million grant for the city of Livingston to continue cleaning the water. So I know that we still have a few more funds that we need, so the community can filter water as like I said, the reserves are low right now. So hopefully they'll have another well, and the filtering will continue and with better services. So any other questions from the public?
Hello, my name is Jose Flores. I'm an educator here in our community. I'm also a planning commissioner for the city of Livingston, and I am a public servant, like you all here sitting at the table. So my question is, did we perform a risk analysis for the closure of our fire departments? Usually when one is done, there's a standard that's followed, and I just kind of want to know if that's something that could be made available to the public so they actually know what type of risk we're going to be in now that we're going to have this reduction. And then what plan do we have in place for said risk? As an educator, I teach kids here locally in the city of Livingston. I have kids from Belico, so for me, their safety is just as important as my own family who lives in Livingston. So knowing if the risk assessment was ever performed, what standard would you use if one was performed, I think would be a great thing for the public so they can see how the closure of our fire station was measured with other fire departments in the local area, and what plans could be put in place for the safety of those people in the community, especially since Livingston is one of the busiest locations for county fire department service. I think our community is going to be greatly affected with a lot of risk going forward. And maybe the public should know exactly what kind of risk they're going to be in, because most people don't understand how our public servants work. And I want to add too that this 2.0 staffing thing is long overdue. Our stations should have been 2 staffed, I want to say, many, many years ago. The safety of our fire department is priority, and I think our CAL FIRE partners here are doing, the best that they can with the staffing they have, and I will never speak badly about them because they are doing the best that they can with the 1-0 staffing. So just wanted to know for the future if that risk analysis could be made available to the public. And the last thing would be, now that since I'm an educator, I have a lot of family in education. Me and my wife both teach at public schools here locally in Livingston. I actually have more family educators in the Dist Palace area, which I know they're going to be affected by this too. I know that there is local laws that actually require the fire department or the fire suppression department for those communities to perform mandated inspections, both of the schools, apartments, and who's going to do those. Because I know that under the health and safety code, it requires that the full-time suppression department is actually required to do those inspections through state law, and just to make sure that if those fire departments pull out, that those inspections will, continue to be done, so that our students and and families are safe. So.
Chief, do you want to maybe address that from your perspective?
Well, speaking from the risk analysis, I think that would be a county's overseeing the budget and seeing where the idea where that would come. That would be a third party, probably a associate that would come in and be able to provide that kind of analysis for you, to make sure that it's not skewed and looked upon CAL FIRE as the reason why, and so on and so forth. So I believe that would be a county's, if that was a direction from the board, then obviously we would support that and go right hand in hand with them. Again, with the inspections, this is an incorporated city. They do inspections. They do some of the fees out for some of those inspections. And when you do talk about schools and stuff like that, the State Fire Marshal's office does handle most of those inspections as far as it goes for the city.
Yeah, the Senate bill actually requires that the fire department do it. It's not about the incorporated city. It's the department that's providing suppression services, and it's actually written in law that way. So that's why I asked, because I know that even though we're an incorporated city here in the city of Livingston, if the Merced County is still providing suppression services, they are actually mandated by the state to perform those set inspections. This is why I bring it up, because since I work in the school system, it affects who's going to be performing those inspections.
Once we go through our process here and figure out how we are moving forward, we will definitely work with the city and make sure that those inspections are done appropriately to meet the standards across the board for the schools.
Yeah. Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es María Lapisco, soy residente del Distrito 5, vivo entre Gastín y Santanela, y como mencionó el Supervisor Espinosa, no tiene ni 5 meses que construyeron la calle nueva. Entonces ahorita tiene un tramo que está realmente malo y la cerraron, pero me conflictúa con el servicio postal porque el condado le notificó al correo y le mandó el croquis del área que puede entrar por el lado del Highway 33 a dejar el correo. El correo dice que no puede entrar, que porque ellos tienen un GPS en el cual los van monitoreando y van checando el tiempo. En este momento tengo 2 hijos trabajando, tengo 2 carros y me conflictúa porque tengo que esperar hasta un día que un hijo mío no vaya a trabajar y trabaje en casa para poder tener carro y yo ir al correo a recoger mi correspondencia. Muchas veces todos tenemos nuestros pagos, yo estoy a la antigüita, todavía me los envían, entonces pero me conflictúa tener que esperar más de una semana para recogerlo. Entonces el servicio postal de la ciudad de Gastín me dijo que hablara con ustedes para que ustedes saber qué pueden hacer o que les notifiquen cuándo van a abrir la calle o cuándo la van a arreglar. Entonces sí me gustaría que vieran eso. Y mi segunda pregunta es también para la Human Service Agency. Recientemente se renovaron las aplicaciones de medical. Sabemos que el salario aumentó. Entonces, pero también por el simple hecho que ganes $1 más, te quitaron el medical. Entonces, yo tengo un hijo, no tiene una condición médica preexistente, pero sí requiere que lo tenga que llevar al dentista, padece de alergias, no regularmente, pero nomás viene cada temporada, le da alergia. Tuve que ir a recoger su medicina, tengo que pagar un costo. Entonces me dicen, es tanto, pero por ganar $1 más, tienes que pagar más dinero. Entonces yo digo, ¿qué pueden hacer ustedes para ayudar a las personas que se le quitó? Yo no pido medical para mí, yo nomás uso para el medical para mi hijo que realmente lo necesita, porque está en la escuela, porque juega deportes, sabemos que puede haber un riesgo y se puede tener un accidente. Entonces creo que ahí se me hace como incongruente que porque el Estado de California aumentó el salario, pierdan ellos un beneficio que realmente lo necesitan, porque es una etapa muy importante en su vida que requieren que uno lo lleve constantemente al doctor a sus revisiones de un físico. También él tiene una condición médica, yo lo tengo que llevar al Body Children's también cada año revisión. Entonces yo esas citas no las puedo perder. ¿Por qué? Porque las tengo cada año, pero si yo pierdo su medical, entonces pierdo todo lo que ya he ganado con su proceso. Entonces sí me gustaría que hicieran algo sobre eso, o sea, que nos den como unas opciones si tienen otra opción o cómo uno aplicar a eso. Oh, no, sí. Perdón.
I'm going to try to summarize what she said recently right now. So she's addressing you, Human Services Agency, and she is saying that you guys increase your annual income for eligibility for recipients of Medi-Cal, and her son has a medical condition and he relies on Medi-Cal. She doesn't have Medi-Cal for herself. So since you guys increased that requirement, that I'm so sorry, that income, even just by $1 or by cents, she doesn't qualify now. So she has a child that is really in need. This child depends on physical, what are they called? Physicals? No, physicals to be done at the doctor's offices. He goes to Children's Hospital in Madera for his annual assessments, etc. So, señora, usted ya no está calificando en este momento para la medical? Do you guys have other options?
What I can do, if you mind translating this for me,
Dice lo que sí puede hacer para
I will
ustedes,
give
que
her my card
le va a
so
dar su
when she can
tarjeta,
contact my
para que se
office
puede comunicar
tomorrow,
con su oficina mañana.
and we will have staff to reach
Y va a
out to her
tener
and
otros
try to
empleados
see
que
what
puede-
other options. I have to look at your case to
Puede
determine
ayudarle y mirar
the
las
factors
opciones que tiene y ver los factores
associated with
durante
your case, and then someone can
sobre
give you
su
a
caso.
clear assessment of what we can do and cannot.
Y hacer una evaluación y qué es lo que pueden hacer y lo que no van a poder hacer, ¿ok? So le va a dar una tarjeta para que usted pueda comunicarse con ella. Y la otra pregunta era, and she's also complaining about where she lives, her location, that she lives between Banker Road, between Gustine and Santa Nella, and she is having a hassle. The U.S. Post Office GPS will not deliver to her house because I guess they're on a monitoring system. And they will not deliver. It's been a week. She's struggling also because I guess she has two boys. And ¿tiene dos carros, señora, o nomás solo un carro? So each child takes a vehicle, so she's struggling to get to the postal services office.
Yeah, so we can
cetera.
address that. We have obviously two
Oh, yes.
representatives from
Yes.
Public Works. It sounds like this issue is as a result of the failure that occurred on,
Also parece
on
que
Bunker
eso es un
Road.
resultado de la falla de la
So
calle
we will have
Banker Road.
staff
So vamos a tener
coordinate with the
gente
Gustine
aquí
Post Office,
disponible con,
project
para
updates
ver
and kind of what they
sobre,
can expect.
hablar sobre el
And if we
proyecto
can
de
accommodate,
Gustine
we
y de
can follow
las
up-
del
we can follow
oficial
up tomorrow.
postal y pueden ver también si pueden tal vez comunicarse con usted mañana y darle al saber sobre eso.
Yeah, we'll talk to the post office and
Van a
then
hablar con la
coordinate
oficina
services
postal
that are being delivered, I guess,
y
to
los
the
servicios que
residents
ustedes
there that are impacted.
que le están mandando a ustedes y las personas que están impactadas igual a usted, señora, ¿ok?
Gracias.
Oh, she wants to make a comment.
Y ya nada más para finalizar, para mí sería como un error que cerraran la estación de bomberos porque recientemente tuve que usar los servicios del 911.
Okay. She says, and for her, she just wants to make a final comment that it would be very sad for the Department of Fire, the fire department to close here. She had to acquire the 911 services recently.
Y la verdad, los bomberos llegaron muy rápido y el servicio que ellos brindan para la necesidad que uno tiene cuando una persona requiere un servicio de primeros auxilios es para mí fue algo formidable y vivo a las afueras, pero entonces
Okay, and she says that she had an experience where they had to come out and help her, and that it was amazing that they responded right away. And her location, she lives like in the outskirts of the area.
Pero sería lamentable que ustedes cerraran la estación aquí porque muchas veces la necesidad es muy grande y no sabemos si eso le puede salvar la vida a una persona. Entonces yo apoyo a los residentes de Livingston que no la cierren, por favor. Gracias.
Okay, and she's just saying that it's very sad that if it would be closed, the fire department here in Livingston, and that is something that is very necessary, and it would be very sad if they were to have a closure, and they're very necessary because they save lives. Thank you. Gracias. Gracias.
I do have one comment. I apologize. I'm going to have Ms. Gray to connect with her after so we
Ms.
can get
Gray?
her right here.
Que la señorita Ray que está allí se va a comunicar con usted después de la junta, señora. ¿Ok? Yes. Oh, su primer nombre y su apellido y su número de contacto, por favor.
That's why interpreters do a better job. I'm better interpreter, I guess. Good job. Any other questions? Mr. Brazil. Thank you for coming. All right.
Nice to see you. Thank you, Supervisor. Dennis Brazil, I'm board president for Westside Ambulance. A couple comments. Well, while I was on the campaign trail, this is my 5th meeting, by the way, for the town hall meetings. I've tried to attend all of them to get the comments from all residents, without the county. When we look at these county employees, and I spoke about this, I think, at every town hall meeting that I've been to, it's crucial that we get something figured out to help them with their health care benefits, with their wages. We know that we're losing these workers to both sides of our county, so Stanislaus County, Madera County, Fresno County, and if we don't do something to fix this, we're going to keep bleeding out. You heard me mention this at the last one that, we're bleeding out, and if we put a Band-Aid on it, we're not going to stop the bleeding. We've got to find a permanent fix to fix this. So I'd hope that you are seriously looking at this and trying to get this resolved for them. The other thing I wanted to mention was about ambulance service that was mentioned tonight. I'm board president for Westside Ambulance. I see Chief at many of the meetings. Keep this in mind when you get ready to make decisions on closing fire stations. Our average response time, by the way, we're a small district that's split over 2 counties, Merced County and Stanislaus County. Our average response time for our 2 units is 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Once you hit the rural areas, if you start closing down stations, the stopgap will no longer be there. So you're going to start looking at response times that are going to be in the 15, 20 minutes. Life-saving window is 10. You don't need to go to Harvard to figure this out. If we don't have stations where the fire department is no longer just fighting fires, they have EMTs and paramedics on staff, and they are the stopgap while that ambulance is en route to get there. So I've said this since I was mayor in Gustine from 2010 to 16 that we should have been chief at 2.0 staffing even back then, because it's dangerous for all departments to operate with one engineer or one staff member running that engine. But be careful on closing stations, because the turn of it's going to be when the ambulance can't get there for 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, and that agency is no longer available to send that engine, there's going to be repercussions in the life-saving measures for that. So just keep it in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions?
Hello. My name is Gerald Phelps. I'm the president of ASME Local 2703. One of my questions is that obviously we've been talking about wages and health insurance and everything else. Last year, you guys passed a budget of $1.1 billion, I believe it was, or at least over $1 billion. So my question is, this isn't negotiated related. We've known that wages and insurance has been a problem for many years. Why aren't we being proactive about addressing it on the years when you do have money instead of the years when you tell us you're broke?
I can certainly address that from my perspective. Obviously, as somebody that's new to the county, I know some of the history in terms of wages. I think over the course of the time that I've been here, the wage increases that have been offered have been more than what's been provided in the past. Some of that's obviously driven by the board's direction. We're, as you mentioned, in active negotiations now. We're trying to see what more can be done going forward, and that takes time. I'm optimistic. I know we've reached agreement with some of our public safety sheriff department bargaining groups. I'm actively at the table with the undersheriff, with the last bargaining group, DSA, dispatchers, and coroners. And I know our staff is beginning to meet with the other bargaining groups. So it's a conversation. You know, I can't speak to why. I can only speak to kind of what we can do going forward. To use the mayor's words, I think he's right. I think it's now our responsibility to try and come up with solutions that are going to address our issues as a county organization, as a county community. And that's what I think we're trying to do. Unfortunately, it takes time, and there's a lot of needs. At the last town halls, we talked about some of the impacts to law enforcement, to some of our other departments in terms of some of the challenges they see with retention and recruitment. This last week, it's fire service. So there's a lot there. We're trying to kind of provide that balance. We're trying to provide the board with some options. I can only control what I can do going forward based on the time I've spent here. But the history, I mean, it is there. We learn from it, and then we move forward. But very valid point. I came from San Jose County. I think most of you know this. I'm actually happy that I'm here in Merced because I think sometimes things happen for a reason. And I hope that with my experience and some of my skills, I can maybe take advantage of some of the things that have worked well in other counties and then kind of try to expand on those things that I think Merced County does very well. I think sometimes it's helpful to have kind of an independent, perspective. For me, I've only been here going on my third year, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't have all the solutions. I do know that, based on the conversation I've had with our board, with our department staff, we're committed to trying to improve the situation. We have challenges. Every county, every city has challenges across the state. I've been a city manager as well. I know I feel for some of the challenges at the city of Livingston, Gastine, Dos Palos, the smaller jurisdictions. It's hard. But I'm committed to trying to work together with our city partners and then tapping into the resources that are here on full display today with our departments. I know that I have a big responsibility as your CEO to try and deliver, and I just hope that you give us time. Again, it's short time that I've been here, a lot of history. I'm learning all about this community. It's actually grown on me. And so for me, I'm committed to Merced County. I'm committed to making a better environment, not only within the organization, but for the community. I think that's why I'm here. I look around the room, I don't see strangers anymore, which is good. But there's still so much history I just don't know, and I'm still learning. I work with individuals like Christopher, who is new to his role. He's been in the role a year. We have active conversations, and there's no easy decisions that are being made, but we'll provide some options, and hopefully over time you'll see some improvement. So appreciate the comment, though. And I know this is our last town hall. This is what it's all about. It's us listening to you all. Obviously, to kind of stay grounded on what are the things that are most important to the community, whether it's a resident or a member of our organization or another organization. And, I firmly believe that we can do our jobs better by just listening and kind of hearing from you all. So I appreciate the comments today. Thank you.
One more question?
I just want to say, with all respect, first, I like to talk in Spanish because I want to start a group of parents here in Livingston, and they speak Spanish. So I want to be like a motivation for the people that they're going to speak Spanish here. Is why. Yeah, sorry. And a leader. Okay. Well, I just want to say about the fire station that I'm a worried and resident like Livingston, and I know Mr. Supervisor Espinosa is going to take a good decision, and I hope the other 4 supervisors they take the good decision for the community. Hold on, one more, and also I just this is for the who representative. The Senate, Ana Caballero, and for the Assembly, Esmeralda Soria, so they can support the AB and 2441. because I'm going to be on the 29th in Sacramento. And if they receive the message for the organization ACLU and California Action, I hope they can reply the message, the email. Thank you.
Question?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Supervisor Espinoza and everybody coming out here. We know you're taking away from your family time, but we do appreciate you coming out here. And I just want to state the challenges that face the city are the same challenges that face the county. We have road issues, county has road issues. Where ours may be a couple of 100 miles, you got a few thousand miles. Where we provide the same service for law enforcement, county provides law enforcement. When our law enforcement at the county level is challenged, retaining good talent and so forth, it makes it harder for not just the unincorporated areas, but also the incorporated areas, because the city, in event of emergency, not just Livingston, Atwater, others, we do rely on the sheriff's office or the highway patrol for backup. If they're so limited staffing, that further assistance would be a lot further away. It could be highway patrol may not be around, so it kind of folds on itself. And same thing with fire services. Back in August of 21, I got into this terrible accident right there on 99. It was the quick response that we had the resources nearby available, where Atwater stations, Delhi, Livingston, they all went there to get there. Now, by the time I got to the hospital, I was so close, a few more minutes, I would have been gone. Imagine if the initial response would have been delayed because of where the equipment were rolled in from Belico, Delhi, wherever. It wouldn't have worked out for me. I wouldn't be standing here. And it's not just about me at this point. There's other people that are going to common same issues. Like I mentioned at our board meeting, that if the service is 12 minutes away, somebody has a heart attack, ambulance is not going to get there, like I said, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And if fire department or anybody doesn't get there, what's the purpose of even having it if that's not good for, people are gone. We understand the difficulty the county is having, and we know that the $1.2 billion was mentioned earlier as far as the budget. We all know, especially the ones that deal with budgets all the time, it's not the entire 1.2 that you can dedicate. There's a lot of other monies earmarked for health and services agencies and everybody. There's a lot of money that goes, most of it probably has already been allocated somewhere. Discretionary funds is very minimal. Now, for us as Livingston, think about what would it cause the issues just in Livingston. As I mentioned, we have Foster Farm just across the road. It's not just about a structure fire that could be an issue. They also have lots of chemicals, hazmat issues. Imagine a response being delayed for that, and those, whatever they have, go down to the community. It can be a really, really risky issue. A.V. Thomas, they got coolers, they got refrigerators, they got all kinds. And they also have chemicals that should not be released anywhere. We rely on a quick service. Now, CAL FIRE has done a great job. I've always said it. They're the people with our paid call firefighters, the best group of people you can use for backup. You cannot ask for a better group of people. Now, when it comes to Livingston, and a lot of people, when this became on the radar last week, a lot of people called us. Why don't you guys step up? We need the county to make everybody understand city is stepping up. When back in February of 23, CAL FIRE said, hey, City of Livingston, you're putting $1.9 million, $1 million and another $300,000 that'll cover 2 staffing, and all of a sudden the numbers changed. We don't know why. But even back then, we didn't say we're not going to participate. Even now, we're not saying we won't participate. If the cost is 1.7 million, based on the percentage calls and everything's broken down, we'll step up to the plate. But please understand that the difficulty, not just Livingston, but also your folks, other side of Olive or other side, they're your folks. They pay taxes. They don't pay taxes to the city, but they still pay taxes. And then there was suggestions made at the board meeting that we're the only incorporated city doesn't have our own fire service. You know, we can do that. Right now, the city, as you know, puts about $1 million from a parcel tax towards fire services. Now, if we were to go on our own, yeah, we can do that. Maybe a little difficult, but we can balance it. Now, what kind of disservice are you doing to your folks? Because that'll be Livingston Fire Department responding within the city, not into the county, unless we have some sort of agreements. Your folks are going to be impacted more by us going into our own service. You know, and all we're saying to you folks, please think about the lives you're affecting. Think about the public safety. There are things, if we as Merced County residents through the cities and the counties can get together, maybe there's options for some sort of a sales tax or something that we can go towards public safety. You know, there's things that we can do, and it's not just public safety. You know, think about the other funding that when law enforcement at different cities do their job, they take somebody in, they go to the jail, there's lack of staffing there, the people get kicked out, or even if they hold them, now they're going to go before arraignments and all that, and where the DA is going to come in. Do they have the resources to put all that in? Or do they simply say, you know, we don't have enough DAs, we don't have enough assistants here. Well, let's just plea bargain down and let's release some people that are not going to serve their fair share of what they did. This affects the community as a whole. We need to be thinking about a lot greater things than what we're doing. And also think about for your folks, or even going back to the fire service. If fire and response times changes, so does our fire ratings. Everybody's going to pay a lot more for their fire insurance. That has a direct impact on the people. So I ask our supervisor and everybody, please work with the city. We'll step up. Tell us what we need to do. Let's be fair. If it's 60%, according to CAL FIRE, we had the numbers up there last night. Whatever the cost is, we'll pay our 60%. Step up, give us some right numbers. That's all we're asking. I'm sure everybody here is asking for the same thing. And we will partner. We will partner with the city and the counties. We shall partner and do this. So take this back to your folks. I know you guys are staff, but also we know when we deal with our staff, when you folks sit down amongst yourselves, figure out solutions, then you present it to your elected officials, they base their decisions on what's provided to them. If you can't come up with creative ways to doing this, they're simply going to look at it and say, nah, forget it. You know, it's you folks that everybody's going to rely on. With the CEO, fire service, everybody. You guys need to get in there and say, here's our challenges. And I'm not sure what else we can do, you know? And to shut this station, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think it entails both sides, like I said, the city and the county. The city, there's many residents here. There's residents of the county. There's employees that work at Foster Farms, the largest employer in the county. So obviously there's employees from all over the county, and like I say, any accident is major. This station supports Delhi, supports all the communities around, because when they're in service, they go out on a fire call, they go out on an accident. This station is supporting those other stations, just like I said, we're the one of the second highest used station in the county. So we gotta continue. Hopefully, we'll come to some resolution. And like I said, but the city's got to push hard. And then, as a supervisor too, I'm going to be asking my board to get some resolution. Okay. All right. One more question?
Again, I just wanted to bring the fact that everybody's again discussing the sheriffs and fire departments and everything. That's all important again, but it's employees all around, which you did address. Thank you for that. But you know, in my 55 years, I've never had a need for a fire department, thank goodness, and that, you know, knock on wood, that never happens again. But I did need services from the agency that I work for. Again, you know, I lost my parents at a very young age of 16, and who wasn't there to help us out? It was, thank goodness, it was Rodrigo's family that lived next to us that did help us out. But CWS at that time completely let my family down. And that was in 1986, and I'm sure things have improved by far now. But these are the life or death services that a lot of people still need on top of the fire department and everything else too. But we definitely could have used the services that our agency offers to help my family, and maybe I wouldn't have lost my parents at such a young age.
Thank you. I don't see no more comments or questions. Mr. Wallace. You have a question?
Thank you. Just a couple quick comments. I'm probably one of the newer citizens here because I've only been here about 13 and a half years. 9 of them I've been on the Planning Commission and numerous years the chair. I just want to thank, at the last supervisors meeting, I used the word stupid. Well, on May 7th, I don't want to have to use the word stupid or something even worse comes out of my mouth before I think. We need to have the city, the county, and CAL FIRE present a logical procedure and a logical step that can get before the Board of Supervisors, and we can get it approved. I don't want to hear they had a handshake. I want to know what's done. And all the citizens of Livingston, that's what we need to know. We know what you need to do, what have we done, and who didn't do what. And we need this to be approved by May 7th, period.
I just want to say about next week's meeting, April 22nd?
23rd.
23rd. Yeah. April 23rd, Board of Supervisors meeting will be at 6 p.m. It's an evening. We only have 2 evening meetings a year, April and December. And then May 7th, we'll be back to 10 a.m.
Right.
I just want to express that so that way it's public. And in case you want to attend next week's meeting, it's at 6 p.m. at the 3rd floor in the county building, okay? And then May 7th, which will be revisiting this fire issue, will be at 10 a.m., okay? So we have more coming back here.
Thank you, sir. My name is Gabe Santos. Spent the last 28 years in public safety, and I reside currently in the city of Atwater, but I was the president for the Measure H public safety tax that went on the ballot a couple of years, well, last year. A lot of hard work and a lot of effort was put in, and the city had to increase that to increase their staffing and keep that fire department stuff going. But the main reason I wanted to be here today is I grew up in Merced County, started in Belico as a volunteer firefighter, spent 28 years, and still work in public safety today. But I have in my hand here, and I have a couple copies that I just want to make sure I share with everybody. This is from Stanislaus County, from the EMS office. And this letter states that this was dated back in October 1st of 2023, so 6 months ago, where Stanislaus County formally informed Merced County that they were going to reduce and no longer continue their mutual aid agreement with Merced County as far as ambulance services. So who does that affect? That affects Belico, that affects Cressy, Delhi, and Livingston. And this letter, I have a couple copies here, gladly pass that out. But that's something that impacts everybody in public safety. 3 to 4 minutes, that's a life or death situation. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Unfortunately, we've seen this coming for a long time now with 1-0 staffing. Need to make sure that we're making good decisions, but also, just like the city of Atwater, we had to increase that tax. Santanella, for those of you that are not familiar with Santanella hotels pay additional tax for that extra staffing at that Santanella station. So desperate times call for desperate measures. Our law enforcement is being impacted. Our county fire department is being impacted. Unfortunately, this is a time where we have to look at those other opportunities, and nothing's free anymore. So I'll be here if anybody has any questions about our public safety use tax that was passed in the city of Atwater. Again, I served as the president for that committee, and I'm willing to help in any way that I can to make sure that we don't have to lose any services. And I do have copies of this letter that I'll gladly hand out to the administrators up front.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. No. Just one thing I'm going to address regarding the meeting last night of the council meeting. I know they addressed, potentially putting on the ballot in November a half-cent sales tax quarter or a half-cent, depending on their analysis that they're doing. So hopefully this community and everybody around Livingston can pass a tax to help out the fire services and the police department if needed. So, Mayor, do you have one more comment? No? Okay. That was okay. Any last comments? Okay. Again, next week's meeting, the 23rd, April 23rd, will be at 6 p.m. Thank you. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks to our department heads and staff for taking the time to be here. If you have any questions for me in the future, please contact me at rodrigo.espinoza@countyofmerced.com. And don't forget to follow Merced County on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to stay updated in current projects and activities. Let me say it in Spanish. Para terminar, me gustaría agradecer a todos por acompañarnos esta noche y gracias a nuestros jefes de departamento y personal por tomarse el tiempo de estar aquí. Si tiene alguna pregunta para mí en el futuro, comuníquese conmigo a rodrigo.espinoza@countyofmerced.com y no olvide seguir al Condado de Merced en Facebook, X, anteriormente Twitter, Instagram y YouTube para mantenerse actualizado sobre los proyectos y actividades actuales. So that's all my comments. I want to thank again our staff. Any last comments from our staff? No? Well, thank you everyone for being here and have a good night, okay? Appreciate it.